Today I'm going to show you how to optimize your controller settings for the new Black Ops game. And what you're going to do is click on settings. And when you're underneath controller, there's going to be a bunch of different settings to choose from. The first thing that you're going to want to do is get your button layout to your preferred preference. Your horizontal and your vertical are probably going to be reset from the last game, so be sure to check that out. We'll get into the ADS sensitivity in a bit, but let's keep going down on these settings. You'll find your controller vibration and most importantly, your dead zone. Now with your dead zone, there's all new settings on here and even a test feature. So what we can do is hit the test button here and you'll see that your joystick will enact and move with the little graph on the right. You can find the actual percentage that your stick has natural drift. Some of mine are like 4 to 5. So what I'm going to do is instead of having this set to 15, you'll see this little red circle around that. That's where it will not register your inputs. And with Omni movement, you want this to be fluid and really fast. So you want to get this all the way down to 0, in my opinion. You might have a little bit of drift, but trust me, you want the responsiveness the most. Now, when it comes to your right stick minimum and your left stick max, this is where it needs to be if you want to have it at maximum input. I prefer it all the way because I feel like I'm fast enough on my thumbs, but a lot of players, they'll put it down to 60%. That way they can get maximum velocity to their strafe speed and their movement. However, your control of it is much more tightened in the controller, and you'll notice that past 60%, it doesn't really do anything. So I like to leave this at 100 just for personal preference. It's an old Halo thing. The right stick, the minimum, you'll also see most players need to have this on if you're using an Xbox Elite controller. They come with built-in drift as a feature. But if you have any other working controller, I would set this down minimum to 0 if it doesn't have any to little no drift. But me personally, I like to have it at 5 just because my controller has drift. The right stick max, same idea as the right on the left stick max. Left trigger, this is a new feature. How much the left trigger must be pressed to be considered input. Now this is important because you want everything to be as instant as you press your buttons. I don't know why they do this with controllers and all this. I guess it wants to help out people that don't have good controllers. Who knows what kind of research, but if you want to get that tight accuracy, you want left trigger all the way down and right trigger all the way down. You want that thing to pop right when you put your finger on it. Right there, we're going to save those settings, and we have some more important ones underneath aiming as well. Your sensitivity multiplier is going to be where you find your ADS sensitivity. Now, this was really important for me as a player. I like to have a little bit of slowdown when I start holding the left trigger. Again, it's a Halo thing when you're scoped in with weapons. Totally up to you what you want it to be. You can make it faster if you want, however you think. But important, advanced aiming settings underneath that. When we go to here, this aim response curve type is one of the most important things that you need to change, because even if you have it set to dynamic from the past game, it'll most likely be reset with this new game coming out. So you got to go from standard to dynamic if you use dynamic. Now, if you're like me and you have an overclock controller and you're really dialed in with everything on making your instant curvature and everything, which I'll do in a future video, linear would be the best for you. But if you don't have all of those extra software, you're just playing on a regular old console, go ahead and put on dynamic. That'll be just fine for you. And custom sensitivity per zoom, I don't personally use it, but if you have that preference, you can also find that underneath this tab here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to share this video with your squad mates, hit that like, comment, any questions that you might have so I can make a video for you later. Thanks again.